Hey world! I have been receiving a lot of requests in response to my Rubik's Cube video, thanking me for what I've done and thanking me for teaching how to do it, but also asking how it can be done faster. Today, my goal is to teach you how to take your 8-minute solve and turn it into a 2-minute solve, or your 2-minute solve and turn it into a 1-minute solve. Following these tips will not make you a world record holder, by no means, but it should help you solve the Rubik's Cube much faster. The first step in solving a Rubik's Cube fast is going to be having a Rubik's Cube that moves fast. Many of you have commented on how they see that my cube moves with relative ease. And this is all because of petroleum jelly, also known as Vaseline. Little side note, this container of petroleum jelly is older than I am. Seriously, this was made in like the 80s. Anyway, what you're going to do is lubricate the cube using petroleum jelly. Like I show you how in the first video in teaching you how to cheat, rotate the top layer of the Rubik's Cube 45 degrees, pop your finger in there, or something else like a screwdriver if your Rubik's Cube is older, and the piece should pop out like that. You can go ahead and disassemble the Rubik's Cube. Not completely though. I normally take off 3 pieces just like that. Now you can see inside there mine already has petroleum jelly in there, but for the sake of demonstration I will put a little bit more in. Go ahead and slide this in this gap here and just get as much in there as you can. I have with me a rag to wipe off my finger. Now it's really gross, but it will help your cube move much, much faster. Go ahead and put this back together. And then with the extra petroleum jelly in there, just work it around and your cube should move like a dream. One thing I should mention is that while I only put a little bit in one side of it because my cube is already lubricated and I don't want to over lubricate it, you should do that in all sides. Like you could start with this side, then take out this side, then take out this side, and take out this side, and that way you have all 4 corners taken care of. Then your cube will move very smoothly on all parts. If you only do one part, you may notice one side moves a lot easier than another. Now that your cube is lubed up and ready to go, I'm ready to start teaching you some shortcuts in my method for solving the Rubik's Cube. For the sake of simplicity, in my tutorial I teach you to solve the green side first. But when you're trying to solve the Rubik's Cube as fast as you can, the green side is not always going to be the fastest way to start. What I do before I start solving is I give the cube a nice examination. I try to find which side has little bars like this already in place. The blue side does. The red side has 2. That's very nice. And you can also look at the side directly underneath. Red doesn't have any red centerpieces directly underneath. White doesn't have any white. Green has 1 green directly underneath. Orange has 1 orange. I think that I'm going to start with the red side. At this stage of solving the cube is probably where most of the shortcuts are going to be. The right inverted, down inverted, right down algorithm that I teach you will work perfectly in this because it'll only take 1 time for it to go up there. I know this because the red is on the right. Right inverted, right, down. Only 1 time. But let's take this for example. First let's get it in the right place. Blue, white, red. Okay. The red is on the bottom. If we were to do right inverted, right down, it would take much longer than if we do this. Now watch very carefully. I'll do it slowly. The red is on the bottom. We do start with right inverted. Now that puts the red right here. But if we are to do down inverted, or down, doesn't matter, and then put this right back up, then we can put this here and then just do right inverted, right down. Much faster than repeating right inverted, right down over and over again. Right here we have a perfect example of where right inverted, right down is the least efficient way to get this up here. When the red is on the left, what you can do is you can do left, down, left inverted, down inverted. It's the opposite of right inverted, down inverted, right down. And instead of having to repeat it X number of times, it just takes once to get the piece up here. Once you have the first layer entirely done, this next step there is no real shortcut for, I'm sorry. But what you can do, and this is true for any step, is learn finger tricks. Ways that you can move your fingers in a very fast way. This has to go here, so it's going to be pretty good. But what you can do is just practice that over and over again and try to find the most efficient way of moving your fingers. This is a technique that's used in all sorts of music, all sorts of different things that require intricate movements. It's conservation of movement. The smaller your movements are to get the thing done, the more efficient it's going to be. Instead of using your whole hand to rotate something, if you can just use a finger, that is much, much better. And once again, that's something that you have to have a very well lubricated cube to be able to do. Just watch how I do this. Pretty fast. Once you have the first two layers entirely solved, in this next step to solve the top cross, there are no shortcuts that I know of. I'm sure that there are some very complicated algorithms that you can use to solve this entire face in one move, but that requires lots and lots of memorization. What I find is best to do this as quickly as possible is to simply learn to recognize as soon as you fill in this last piece that you need to move on immediately and do the front, right, up, right inverted, up inverted, front inverted algorithm. That's a key thing in solving the Rubik's Cube quickly, moving from step to step without skipping a beat. This next thing kind of goes hand in hand with learning how to do the different steps right after each other. But once you're at this step where you have to get these four corner pieces in the right place, something that with practice you can do is learn to very quickly identify which one of these cubes, if any, is in the right place. Just look at this real quick. No, no, yes, this one's it. So I immediately go into this algorithm to get them all in the right place. For the final step in solving the Rubik's Cube, there's only one situation where you can actually use a shortcut, and that's where you have three of these top corner pieces that are unsolved and one that is, and the orange, or the top color, is on the left in each case. When this is the case, instead of using right inverted, right down over and over again, use left, down, left inverted, down inverted over and over again, and that will actually cut the number of moves you have to do in half. With practice, this algorithm will become natural to your fingers. You can solve it quickly. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. If you liked it, please subscribe to my videos. And once you get solving the Rubik's Cube down and to a point where you think is pretty fast, why don't you post a video response to this video showing you solving the Rubik's Cube? Hey!